Hello, hello, hello. You know you're in the Zen Zone. Retired Mr. Davenport. Oh, Mr. Tingley. You blocked the wrong dude earlier. I enjoyed when you held the politicians' feet to the fire because the politicians are 3 of the 4 other pieces of the Miami Valley disgrace of 2023. I'm just a retired dad. I give a fuck about Clark County. For real. It's not about working with the hands. It's about protecting the people. That I could enjoy your working for the people after that tornado, and you're working for the people at those city commission meetings after the bus crash. That is, well, you see, young Master Aiden Clark, he goes to the school my mom graduated from. My daughter goes to that school. My daughter could have been on that bus that day. Had my daughter actually been on that bus that day, had my daughter been killed because the city of Springfield doesn't want to be accountable for anything that they do, the handful of people that are sitting there at 76 East High Street, Mr. Heck, Mr. Rue, down to 130 North Fountain, Ms. Elliott, that hallway. Guys, hi, it's James. Hi. Remember Heather? We all do. Everybody's looking at you. Everybody's looking at an apartment in Enon. Folks, you gotta fix yourselves, whether you're a liar or have cognitive dissonance, depression, whatever. Folks, here's what's happened. I went into a major depression and dealt with it. I see Dr. Valenki, Springfield psychiatrist, Friday, March 15th, 2024, and I will tell him that it's a business now, that I'm not a social media anything. I've been hated my whole life. I don't care. I just stay positive. I've been Mr. Misunderstood and Waylon Jennings, always been crazy, all those songs. I've been all of that. Lizzie Hale, this is the truth. You are fucking phenomenal. You own me. You own Mr. Davenport. Thank you. Thank you. With my Morticia, we always made so many jokes. The typical joke of open communication, legitimate husband and wives, all over the place, of a freebie. Ms. Hyde, forgive me, I'm not in any way being a fan trying to get any kind of thing or anything else, but you are always that freebie for me on the just complete, like, oh my God, this somehow happened. And I always joked with my Morticia, her name was Heather. I always joked, Heather, you know as well as anybody, you know better than anybody on this planet, that could actually happen. Lizzie Hale could bring Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch with her and say, hey, James, you know all 3 of us, and actually, we love you. So, and before I would say anything or do anything, I'd pull my phone out and call her, like, okay, you're not going to believe this. But, hey, folks, in all seriousness, and with respect to those ladies, because they are all seriously phenomenal, amazing, strong women who are out there in the public that have built incredible brands around their athleticism, strength, creativity, just the hearts and the passion that burns within those 3 wonderful women. It's a similar heart and passion that burns for life, for parenting, for je ne sais quoi of the Zen Zone of Vitamin J to just be. And that whole thing was difficult, but the gorilla with the piece that I had on my Facebook for the Dose of Vitamin J show page, that was an AI generated art, as I was saying on that. I'm not social media. These shows they have been on Spreaker as the host since day one, which was my daughter's birthday when it launched, actually. That was laid as either a breadcrumb, if I was able to make it through what was to come, or that was to let my daughter know that her father loved her more than anything in this world, in case I didn't make it back for any reason. And while everybody that really had chances and opportunities to make it right simply by owning that they didn't know the real me and letting me continue my work as a police officer in my hometown, letting me get on with my life even with a second marriage that has obviously failed. And that's what's so stupid. Like, these kids see each other at school all the time. Deputy Crump is not those boys' parents. Their parents are alive. My daughter's mother is dead. Everyone has the opportunity to make the life you want. You have the opportunity to change what you're doing, do something else, and get a different result. As long as you continue banging your head against the same wall, you're never going to be able to turn the doorknob and walk on through the door out into the world that is wonderful and is learning and growing and being more and more advanced, literally and figuratively, every day. This might as well be the period of the Jetsons. We have machines that work for us. We've had motion sensing lights forever. That's pretty smart itself. A motion sensor. You don't need the internet. Use the internet as a research tool instead of, pardon me, when I say you don't need the internet, I believe you do need the internet. You don't need the internet as a social media. Hey everyone, look at my this. Hey everyone, listen to my lefty or righty, either one, politics. I don't care if you're red or blue. Again, in a world where we can be better than or less than, be different than. This is a third voice. This is a third option. This is not a politician. This is not a political race. This is not a guru. This is not a religion. This is not a cult. This is a man who knows himself and who happens to have studied human psychology and the mind since childhood, because this man knew in childhood that the mediocre life I was growing up under a depressed mother with after my mother and father divorced was not the way human beings live. And I budgeted food stamps for my mother, who died in 2015 and was memorialized in the mayor of Springfield, Ohio's funeral home. There's a word for that, Mr. Rue. Hey, Mr. Tingley. Go tell them about fascism. I'll deal with the real problems of the world up here. I'm not dealing with anything about Springfield or Clark County anymore. I'm accountable to my daughter. I'm accountable to my people, my friends, and my family. I'm accountable as myself. I am not responsible, nor do I care to have any connection with any of the 4 people who have absconded from complete accountability for their 20% chunks alongside mine that make up 100% of the great Miami Valley disgrace of 2023. Mr. Davenport is real. Vitamin J is real. Ask your AI bots about me, and then ask them about, name your officers. We all know the drunk officer in Springfield. Look him up. We all know several others who have had their own issues, and then we know the other ones. The Officer Walters, the Officer Craigs, the Sergeant Mercado, the Officer Mitchell. Now, 3 of the 4 of them are female, and I specifically call out those females because those females are the female change in Springfield, Ohio policing, period. Ashley, my friend, I told you, you really are the change. You really are the female lead. You really are the future hope for leadership in Clark County. Retired officer legend doesn't have any stake in the outcome of anything, just like George Carlin always said. I'm just her dad and her widower, because I was her Gomez. And that love was enough. Namaste. And y'all have a great and accountable Thursday, because we all got exposed. We all got exposed. So let's all look at each other. Let's all look at each other, ourselves, and America as is, and let's fix it. Let's get the lying and the bullshit and the money, the corruption and the ignorance out of leadership. Let's get the dissonance out of private citizenry. Let's get the lack of study, the lack of knowing yourself, the lack of self-confidence, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of understanding, the lack of empathy, and the obvious, now completely obvious as I continue holding that light on. I know, just like everybody else knows, how disgusting the Great Miami Valley disgrace of 2023 truly is. But I did things the right way, and I continue to do things the right way. At the time, I was ranting and raving when that gorilla was on my back. Today, this is the other side of that Smarties wrapper. When that gorilla was on my back, I was Pac-Man eating those pieces of candy. And Pac-Man has completed the package of Smarties in 2024 was me coming back out the other end of that pack of candy as me. I'm not Pac-Man. I'm not a video game. I'm not a cartoon character. I'm not a professional wrestler. I'm not any of that. And I'm also not a gaslighter. I didn't lose my shit. And I'm not crazy, Brian. There's a bunch of people named Brian. They're like, oh shit, what does he know about me? Calm down. The Brian I'm talking about, well, I could be talking about a few Brians, but the one that I'm actually talking about, he knows who he is. We all do. Watch the news. Look at an atlas. Ask AI about me and any politician on the planet and see what it says. And y'all stay positive this time, because I always will. It's all good. You four, you got to go through what I went through, and you'll get to a life that you can actually be proud of, instead of a life that, you commiserate with other like-minded people in a little snow globe that I am shaking up for fun, because you think you have the right, as the people that you are, to determine where another individual's life goes. Well, we all have bad news for you four. And then instantaneously, right on the other side of it, I give you the good news. You do matter. You gotta figure it all out. Politics are a joke. They always have been. As George Carlin said, garbage in, garbage out. Cognitive dissonance, depression, low self-esteem, those conditions suck. But you gotta overcome them. You gotta be who you truly are and genuinely are, and you gotta never give up, and life will stay good. It's how my daughter is able to smile and laugh and joke about very painful things in our past, for sure. But you hear Mr. McConaughey there? His conversation with the brother Sadhguru, phenomenal, enlightening, understanding, gaining wisdom, knowledge. It is not he who holds power who controls power. It is he who respects power from a position of respecting life, who does not want, but thusly deserves the titles that come with leadership. Namaste.